Okay, in my last video I put the new belt on because I thought I had a little bit of a squeal when I was taking it off, and I thought might have been the belt being glazed. But yeah, it was still making the same noise. I checked with some guys on a forum. They told me to check the bearings and some different stuff, but those seem to be okay. But yeah, the brake shoes actually look like they're glazed again because I did deglaze them before. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and deglaze them again. I'm gonna go ahead and put the calipers on them. I'm gonna check the depth of them. I'm sure they're fine, but I'm just gonna double check everything. And I don't know if you can see it. This is the outer clutch, and you can tell it's been getting hot. You can see it's kind of purple and blue there. But yeah, so I'll play with that a little bit and try to get the shine off that. Try it again and see what happens. Alright, here's the clutch pads, and you can see that little needle bearing in the center there. That's the one that a lot of people say that will go bad because from the factory they open that up and there's no grease on it. And same with the bearing. There's another bearing on the other end of this thing, and yeah, it doesn't have a lot of grease at all from the factory in there. Here's the top of the clutch pads, a little bit glazed. There's some like little hairline cracks and stuff in there. I don't know if that's normal or not. Alright, after I got the cover off this time, I started the engine up. I had the emergency brake on, and everything's fine. But as soon as I just barely hit the throttle, you could hear it squealing. So I'm pretty sure it's the clutch that's slipping a little bit on there. So well, we'll find out. Alright, well, I decided to take off the clutch pads and kind of clean everything up. You can kind of see all the clutch pads there. Alright, here's a little shot of the clutch pads going back on. So all these will just flip in, then all the springs will hold those together. Alright, so we're putting some of these springs back on the clutches. I'm just using some snap ring pliers. Stick it in one hole. That's it. Alright, so now we'll put this back on. Retaining clip for the clutch pads. So I think some of the later models didn't have this. So now these E-clips will just go ahead and snap into these. And if you do it right, they won't go flying across the room. Just like that. Alright, I'm going to deglaze these clutches with a little bit of emery cloth. It's easier if you got something to hold it still. Anyways, you get the idea. You're basically just going to get all the shine off from the clutch pad. Alright, so we got all the pads deglazed. We got the clutch outer, got that roughed up a little bit with the emery cloth, got everything sprayed off with brake parts cleaner, and now it's time to put everything back together. I also added a little bit of grease. I know it's probably not in focus, but added some grease in there, the needle bearing, and then there's an outer bearing in here. So I'll make sure I got grease in there. Everything sounds real smooth. The way it's supposed to. Alright. So that goes back on. You got your 22mm socket. Put your nut back on. Okay. So now we'll go ahead and torque that down. I think it's like 40 foot-pounds. I'm not 100% sure on that. Okay, so it was 40 foot-pounds for the driven pulley nut and 76 foot-pounds for the drive pulley, the bolt that goes in there. So we got the emergency brake on. And we'll go ahead and torque this at 40. Looks good. Alright, we got the driven pulley nut all torqued down, 76 foot-pounds. And let's start it up and see what we got. No noise. We're gonna go ahead and put I got the emergency brake on. So anytime I'll give it gas before it would squeal. Now it's not squealing, so it must have been the clutch pads. We'll find out when we actually take it out and ride. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and start it up and we'll see if we have any squeal. Alright, well, it looks like the squeal's gone, so apparently that's what it was. So, alright, so we're at 3,895 miles on it, so we'll see how long it goes before it starts squealing again.